Have you been thinking, it's a new year. I need to make a plan. I need to make some goals, resolutions. I need to do all the pieces in order to have the greatest year. Then you're going to want to listen up because I'm going to tell you that maybe the way you're doing it isn't the most ideal. And there are some pieces that are crucial that you may be leaving behind. Hello, lovely dynamic women, and welcome to the Dynamic Women Podcast. I am Diane Rolston, your host. And it's the start of a new year. Woohoo! Happy 2024. If you're joining me at a later time, then just have a happy day. You are still going to get a lot of learning from this episode. So let's look at strategic planning, mapping out your successful year ahead. Because we want to have a successful year, right? And there's so much in the news and in marketing around the greatest year ever. And just pick your word and make a vision board and all that's great. And everything will be amazing. Well, I'll tell you, planning is strategic. And having a successful year is not on a whim. It is actually happening because you have mapped it out. It doesn't just happen. Yes, wonderful things happen, but the whole thing isn't just going to happen if we don't plan it out. You see, the trouble is people pick a trendy word. Oh, here's my word for the new year. But it's not built on a foundation. There's no exploration that came to that word. They make a vision board, but they're doing it based on whatever comes up in the magazines or whatever is kind of top of mind, rather than doing the deeper work and asking the bigger questions to get what they truly want. And then they jump into some goals that are basically just created on a whim or maybe on society's pressures and not on a foundation. So why do I say all this? It's not because I know it all. It's because I've learned over the years what works, what doesn't work. And after 14 years now of working with high achieving women, working with other leaders, business owners who are achieving a lot, it comes from strategic planning and mapping out your successful year ahead without just deciding on things. Like, we're not picking our dinner option at a restaurant. We are picking what we're going to be doing for the next 365 days and how that's going to set that first layer up for the things that come next year and then the next year and the next year. The sad thing is people are leaving behind some of the best parts of the previous year. Even if you're thinking, good riddance, I am so happy for this year to be over. It's crucial that you go through this 3-step process in order to really be able to build the right foundation for the right next year. So let me talk about the 3 things. First, you need to review the year before. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, by reviewing the previous year, you get to have that moment of like, wow, look at my accomplishments. Look what I did. A lot of people look past years and think, I didn't really do much, or oh, it was a terrible year, or because I didn't get the work promotion or make enough money in the business. I didn't have a good time. It was like useless, or, oh, I could have done more. But when they really start to review it from a deeper place, from a holistic, every single area of life, not just business, not just what could be considered life, but all the areas: personal development, physical environment, fun and recreation, family, friends, health, finances, and the list goes on. You're going to really see, whoa, look at the big things I did. Look at the little things I did. You get to enjoy them, celebrate them. That's the part that's most important in the first phase. But also, the other crucial piece is that ability to look at the past disappointments and release them. Let them go. Let those disappointments and frustrations and potentially failures and mistakes leave and not have a hold on you and not be baggage coming into the next year. And the key thing from those is, let's grab the learning, right? So let's move into the second phase, which is grabbing the wisdom from the wins, the achievements, the things that we accomplished, and let's grab the wisdom, the learnings from the mistakes, the failures, the disappointments, the frustrations, the things that didn't go our way, the obstacles, the whole piece. Because we don't want to make the same mistakes, hit the same obstacles, have the same troubles. And we definitely, for our wins, our achievements, our accomplishments, we want to recreate them, and not just recreate them in the same area, in the same way, in the same situation, but we want to transfer things from one area to another. For example, you'll know I've talked about it a lot. It's very clear if you've listened to any of my episodes that I've lost over 40 pounds now, right? Okay. So there are some achievements that I've had there, and there are some failures and mistakes that I've had. But if I can take some of those achievements and the learnings, that wisdom, and I could take that and transfer it to another area of my life, like business, how can I take the things I learned, like have a very easy plan to follow and a coach that gives you the plan and keeps you accountable? Okay, I can move that into another area of life. Another area being my business, another area being maybe my spirituality, another area being organizing my home. Can I have a simple plan to organize my home and hire someone to help me? 100%, right? So we can take things over. I'm simplifying this just to give you an idea of how it is. But can we also grab the wisdom from some of these failures and disappointments, frustrations, and apply them to other areas? 100%. So maybe you had one thing that you really wanted to do, which was to be getting up earlier. And you realized you can't get up early when you stay up so late. And you're staying up late because you're watching TV, and you're watching TV because you don't have any time for yourself because you're working too late. So what's the learning here? Not that you have to turn the TV off to go to bed earlier. It's that you have to schedule your day better. And when you schedule your day better, you have time for the things that matter most, your priorities. But you have to be intentional about that and have to track it back. So when you're like, oh, I'm just not getting a lunch hour, you're going to be able to track it back and do whatever you needed to do in order to figure out how to wake up early. You're going to do the same tactics in order to figure out how to get a full lunch break. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So we're going to grab the wisdom. Then in phase 3, you create guidelines. Now, what are guidelines? Is we look at the past learnings and we create a statement, a guideline that you're now going to live by going into the next year. Now, this is a process that I have taken a couple of other coaches through for many years that I do myself. And then it was something that I started doing back in 2012, maybe, was when I did the first workshop on this. It was called Dynamic Year. It was about 45 minutes. It was really short. And I took people through this 3-phase, 3-step foundation so that they could have a great year by reviewing, grabbing the wisdom, letting the good, cheering on and celebrating the good, letting go of the bad, and then creating those guidelines from it. And what I found was 45 minutes wasn't enough. We wanted more time. And so then I put it into like a 3-hour. And then I realized there's more learning to be done and more steps and really cool pieces of the process that I wanted to add in. And so we added those in, and it became like 3 sessions of 90 minutes. And it just kept expanding and evolving and coming into this place where I help people make a full, like, mapped out dynamic year plan, that blueprint, the thing that's like so easy to follow. Because how many times do we get to the end of the first quarter? Maybe we don't even notice it's the end of the first quarter, or we get to the end of the first quarter and go, wow, the year's gone by so fast. And I haven't really even achieved my goals or started on my goals, or what are my goals? Have you been there? Or you maybe have that friend that tells you year after year, this is the year that I'm going to write my book. This is the year I'm going to start my business. This is the year I'm going to lose the weight. This is the year I'm going to rent the house. And things don't happen. It's not that they can't do it. It's that they don't have a plan to help them to get there. And not just a regular plan, but a strategic plan. So the dynamic life blueprint is the thing that you need. And it's called the dynamic life blueprint because so many people have business plans or career plans, but they don't have a plan for their life. They don't have a plan for how their home is going to be, how they'll develop themselves personally and professionally, how they're going to maybe bring in or strengthen a romantic relationship, their health, all these other pieces that get missed because we're so focused on where we spend most of our time, which is in our business or in our career. But there's so much more there. And when a business plan is followed properly, created properly, and followed properly and implemented, then success happens. The same in the life plan. When you map it out, when you break it down, when you have things that are created properly, like you've gone through the reviewing, the wisdom, and the creating of the guidelines, and then onto that, you also develop in a proper coaching process, you develop things like your theme, your new paradigm, which is set to squash out your biggest limiting belief, where you also pick your top 3 values for the year that you're going to honor, that's going to help you to achieve all the other pieces, including your top 3 to 4 goals. No more than that, because it's just too much to focus on. And you'll get to the end of the year and you'll say, I achieved nothing, when really you achieved a lot, but because you had so many goals that weren't achieved, you think you didn't do much. So I'm not going to go into it in a really long, drawn out way. I'm just going to put the link in the notes. You can go and check it out. I do have the dynamic year program. You know, this year I was thinking, do I do it? I don't know. Because as you've heard in other places I've shared, other episodes around the changes coming, how my coach shifted me, how I'm going from the work boots to the sparkly shoes, and how I have some really cool experiential things that are coming out in this next year. I also was like, man, dynamic year and the dynamic life blueprint are at the core, at the foundation of every single other program I do, right? By having that chance to look at the past, to capture the good, release the bad, the baggage, and move forward with those golden nuggets that we've uncovered, it is priceless. And what I see in the people that actually use that plan, it's just one page. It's so simple. It's not a whole friggin' book they have to go through all the time. They just look at the page. Some like to have it as their screensaver. Some have it on their desk. Some have it in their planner, and they review it and they look at it. And the people that look at it and review it and implement it have like an 85, 90% success rate in reaching all of their goals, mastering all of their values, honoring all of the guidelines, and really looking back at the year and going, whoa, check, check, check. I accomplished so much. So if you are looking for some support and a little inspiration and motivation and someone to take your hand and guide you, give you the easy ABC 1, 2, 3 recipe to create your one-page blueprint for the next year, then strategic planning in dynamic year is going to be amazing, amazing for you. This is a process I do personally every single year because it has been the thing that has been just pivotal to my success ever since I started doing this process. And now you're getting the most evolved process possible. So check it out. It'll be in the notes. Doors are open. So I encourage you, check it out. Join me and some other high achieving A-type driven women who are ready to just kill it in 2024. Wishing you all the best with whatever way you decide to plan out your year. And just thanking you for being here, for listening, for partaking, for being part of the community. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode and all episodes. Let's start the dialogue, the conversation. And if you do a review, make sure you send a screenshot of it and your mailing address to team@dianerolston.com so that you can get a little something special in the mail. And I love going live and starting more conversations in the Dynamic Women, the Facebook community. So jump on in there. It's free to join. Make sure you hit subscribe and share with a friend, because sharing is caring, and you want to level up the people around you. Because as Jim Rohn said, you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So don't you want those 5 to be leveled up just like you, so that you can continue to be even more of a dynamic woman? Until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.